Hello, good morning to all. Good morning, learners. Today I would continue the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together. This is the continuation. This is the second part as I have written, and this will be the concluding part of the chapter. Yesterday at 11 a.m. I had started this chapter, and you can watch the part 1 of this chapter in yesterday's YouTube session. So here on the part 2, students, this is a chapter taken from your NCERT Hornbill chapter 2, class 11. Now let me introduce myself. My name is Nupur Roy and I am an English educator on the Unacademy. I have a master's degree in English B.Ed and 28 years of experience. My referral code is NUPUR 10. Okay. Now students, if you want to attend, if you wish always to attend the unlimited free classes, please give the referral code NUPUR live and attend to the unlimited free classes on the Unacademy. So you never stop learning, and of course you follow me on Unacademy at this link. Okay, Alifia, good morning. So you are following me on Unacademy at this link. Okay. Now learners, I have given you my Telegram ID also, so that you can join this Telegram group and you can get all the notification on the Telegram. So this is the link which I have given you for my Telegram ID. Now here on this plus course, you see on the Unacademy there are different types of batches going on the plus course of the Unacademy. That is, here you see Let's Crack NCERT English. That is, this is for 3 months course. Okay, this is 3 months course, and I am also teaching the literature part on this batch along with Arpit sir. Next we have the focus batch for final exam science, and here you can attend the top educators of all these subjects of science subjects, as well as I am there to teach you English on this batch. Okay, next you see the focus batch for final exam science is there here also. So in parallel with the English course, teaching the medium of Hindi would be also there for all these subjects. Next, focus batch for the commerce, this is there. Then the focus batch for final exams commerce. All these are of 9 months course where you can complete the syllabus in 11 months. In 9 months, class 11. So you see history, political science, English, economics, these will be taught in Hindi medium. Then here Let's Crack final exam for the commerce. Okay, accountancy, economics, maths, English, business studies, all top educators are teaching. So here Let's Crack final, so many different types of batches are given for the stream which you all are following. Let's Crack PCMCS, then Let's Crack PCMB, so Let's Crack PCB. All these are the different names of the batches. Okay, next you see children, Let's Crack PCB, Let's Crack Humanities, and of course on the plus subscription children, you can also attend to various types of workshops going on the different subjects. Now here on what's new with the Unacademy, you see you can ask doubt at any time of the day. Any part of the day you get ask a doubt and you get the answer. Now you ask doubts at any time, get high quality video solutions in Hindi as well as English. Okay. Now here how you do, you go to the app and you just click on ask the doubt, and then you ask your doubt and you upload the question which you have doubt in, and you just crop the question, particular question of where you have the doubt. Okay, next you have the solution you get immediately of the doubt. Next, the Unacademy subscription. Here you see from the comfort of your home you can study with exhaustive coverage, test series, doubt clearing session, and of course the top educators would be teaching. And here you see the subscription. If you take when you are taking the subscription, you can, for 24 months, it's a longer period, you have more discount, and you put my referral ID and get 10% discount, both for 2 years or here also. All right, here also. Next, you see the iconic subscription is there with a lot more added advantages are here. So many other advantages are also on the iconic subscription, like you have a personal mentor. Of course, the parent also can connect with the development of their child. Then live doubt solving series, and then weekly report you are getting, study planner you are getting, and the other features of the plus course also you are getting. Now here also iconic subscription, you can put my referral code and get the discount. Okay, NUPUR live. Here also the same, NUPUR live, and get the discount. Now there is a very added attraction this month, that till 6th June, okay, till 6th June there is a very big offer. That is, for 12 months if you are taking subscription, you get 2 months extra. For 18 months if you take the subscription, you get 3 months extra. 28. So these added months are there in the different subscriptions you are taking. Those are a additional benefit for you. All right, those are bonus for you on your subscription time. So here now let's start the chapter. I hope you all have all seen the first part of which I taught yesterday at 11 a.m. on the YouTube, and today I am going to conclude the chapter. So yesterday it was we were on page number 15. All right. Now here you remember that yesterday, as I had told you, that the narrator, who is a 37-year-old businessman, all right, he is a 37-year-old businessman, and he is duplicating the great navigator, explorer, whose name was Captain James Cook, who had gone on a voyage on all round the world 200 years before. All right. So the narrator, who is 37-year-old businessman, he with his wife Mary and his 2 children, Jonathan and Susan. Jonathan is 6 years old, he is son, and Susan is 7 years old. She is the daughter of the narrator. All right. Next you see that from where did he start? Students, just see, he started from Plymouth. All right, this is a Plymouth. That the journey started from Plymouth. All right, and when did it start? It started in July 1976. It's just a little recap of the chapter, children. So I'm just yesterday whatever I taught, I'll just give you a briefing of yesterday's class. Now you can see where is Plymouth. It is in the southwestern part of United Kingdom or England. All right. Now next you see, now they had started, and whom did the narrator copy? Whom the narrator was duplicating? He was duplicating the Captain James Cook, who was a British explorer, navigator, cartographer, and captain in the British Royal Army. All right, Royal Navy. All right. So what was he? He was a British explorer. He explored. That is, he went on different adventures, and he was a navigator going through the sea, And cartographer, a person who studies the map. He is called a cartographer. So and the lifespan, you see, it is 1728 to 1776. Here you can see 1728 to 1779. And when did what did the narrator do? Narrator was duplicating the voyage. All right, the voyage. When? In July. He started in July 1976, just 200 years later. All right, so this is what we had done. And we had also done that till Cape Town the journey was very peaceful, the voyage was very peaceful. After Cape Town, what happened, or at Cape Town only, the narrator, the 37-year-old businessman, he hired 2 crewmen. All right, he hired 2 crewmen. Okay, Ayush, Vaibhav, Kajal, all of you, good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you all. Okay, Vaibhav, don't talk. Please follow. Where is the? Don't start conversation here. You just follow what I'm teaching. Okay. Now here you see what I was telling you. Yeah, in July 1976 and till Cape Town, the journey was very pleasant. And at Cape Town, what did he do? The narrator hired 2 more crewmen. That is an American and a Swiss crewman. Now, who are crewmen? Those who help in the ship. Now, from 25th December, they had a very nice Christmas. Until 1st January, the wind started blowing and the weather became bad to worse. All right, this all we had done. So, January 1st, January 2nd, the huge gales were there. That is very, very strong winds were blowing in the sea. And where were they? In which sea? Students, where were they? In which sea were they? First you say, which sea were they? From which sea? Who can tell? Who can tell from which sea were they? They were at that time, they were on the southern Indian Ocean when the turbulent weather started. All right, the turbulent weather started, and they were on 2nd January. What happened? A huge cloud-like wave was seen at the aft of the ship, and then in that strong wind, the narrator, the 37-year-old businessman, he was thrown out of the ship. He was thrown out of the ship into the sea, and there he was about to sink when suddenly, with a gush, with a roar of the wave, he could again come near the ship. What is the name of the ship? The ship's name is Wave Walker. All right, what did they make? The Wave Walker. All right, so he could get into the ship again with the waves coming at the back of him, and he was again thrown back into the sea, into the boat. And there in the boat, he just went and clutched the wheel, that is the steering, and and he started moving. At that, Mary, his wife, came, and she informed the narrator that they were all sinking. So this is how they were facing the turbulent weather in the sea. Now they were all sinking. At this, what happened? The narrator, he asked his wife Mary to go and just take care of the steering, the wheel, and he himself went to see what was all happening on the deck of the sea. So where did he go? He went to the cabin, and there he saw his children. And the daughter, she was hurt on the forehead, but she did not complain because she knew that the father, that is the narrator, was struggling to save all of them in the ship. So after that, what happens, that they are all of them, what do they do? Hemshri, okay. Hello Bindu. So what I was telling, that the whole night for 36 hours, students please listen to the story nicely. For 36 hours, the two crewmen, that is the American crewman and the Swiss crewman, they were pumping the water continuously out of the ship, and it was a struggle for the whole night. Okay, now here you see, after this, what happens, we come on page number 15. We were doing page number 15, children. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping. How did the night drag on? How was the night spent? With a continuous struggle, all right, with an endless, bitterly cold. It was very, very cold. It was they were where? They were in the southern Indian Ocean. It was bitterly cold routine of, and what were they doing? They were pumping the water. They were steering the wheel, that how could they put the ship straight, and they were working the radio. Now what is the radio? The radio signals. All right, this is the radio, means they were sending signals. All right, they were sending the signals. So we were getting no replies to our we were getting no replies. We were getting no replies. No replies were there to our mayday. What are these mayday calls? Now these mayday calls are what? They are sent from the ship or aeroplane, which are the radio signals when the ship is in danger. All right, when the ship is in danger, the different mayday calls are sent. Okay, next you see. So there was no response to the where are those mayday calls sent? Where are those radio signals sent? They are sent to the center, so that from the center some kind of help can come. So any ship is in disaster or any aeroplane is in disaster, there are mayday calls made. Okay, students. Now mayday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. They were not getting any response. All right. So it wasn't surprising in this remote. Remote means excuse me, children. They were not getting any replies in the remote, that is very far away. They were on the corner of where were they? In the southern Indian Ocean. Okay, they were in the southern Indian Ocean. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. So what happened? Sue's head. Sue, who is Sue? Sue is the daughter of the narrator. Okay, Sue is the daughter of narrator, and she had a swollen, her head was swollen, that is there was a bump on her forehead, alarmingly, that is it was very badly swollen. It was for creating an alarm. She had two enormous black eyes. Now in that rough weather, the ship was also moving in the waves, no? Now when the ship was moving, what was happening? She must have got hurt by hitting her forehead to the ship, to the body of the ship. So she had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. So what else had she? She had a deep cut on her arm. When I asked why she had not made more of her injuries before this, that is when the narrator asked that why Sue, that is Susan, the daughter, did not tell him about her injuries, she replied, I did not want to worry you. So the little Sue, who is 7 years old daughter, she said that she did not want to worry her daddy when you were trying to, when you were trying to save us all. All right, when they were trying to save the ship, when the daddy was trying to save the ship, therefore she did not want to complain. Now see, these are the mayday calls. Okay children, these are the mayday calls. Now next you see, the mayday calls are the words used to signal ships and stuck in a disastrous situation through radio. Now page 15, we carry on, page number 15. Now here you see, by morning on January 3rd, the pumps had the water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest in rotation. So when was it? On January 3rd. The weather improved a little, all right, and they took turns to take rest for 2 hours in rotation, means alternatively they wanted to take rest. But we still had a tremendous leak, that is, there was still a lot of water coming inside the boat, inside the ship, sorry. And what is it? That was the name of the ship was Wave Walker, which they had built before starting the voyage. So it's tremendous leak somewhere below the water line. Now what is the water line? The water line is the level of the boat in the water. So what is the water line, students? The level of the boat in water. All right. That is called the water line. So, but we still had a tremendous leak somewhere below the water line, and on checking, I found that nearly all the boat's main rib frames were smashed down to the keel. So when he was checking, he saw that all the boat's main rib frames, that is main construction, were smashed, means were broken to the keel. What is the keel? The keel is actually that the holder on which the ship is made. All right, the main frame. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard hull except a few cardboard partitions. Now you can see the condition of the boat. How was it? There was nothing there. Only there was the hard cardboard partitions were there. It has become totally a skeleton. From all the sides, the ship was broken. Only the cardboard partitions were there. We had survived for how many hours? For 15 hours. All right, for 15 hours they had survived since the wave hit. But Wave Walker would not hold together long enough for us to reach even Australia. All right, they could not dream of reaching till Australia also. And from where did they start? They started from Plymouth in England. And they are now in this rough weather, they are now in the southern Indian Ocean. Next you see, page number 16. Okay, just turn the page number 16 if you have the book. I checked our charts and calculated that there were 2 small islands. So what did he check? He checked the charts, all the maps, and he saw that there were 2 small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. That is to the east. From England they have started and they are in the southern Indian Ocean. So towards the east they could see that 2 small islands they could see. All right, and was a French scientific, one of them was what? It was the Isle Amsterdam. One of the 2 islands was the Isle Amsterdam. Okay, and it was a French scientific base. Now French scientific base means it was a center for, now Isle Amsterdam, children, I want to give you a little information. It is only 55 kilometers. All right, it is only 55 kilometers, small island, and there is no habitation. Isle Amsterdam has no habitation. No one lives there. Oh, and it is under the under France. It is a place belonging to France. So Isle Amsterdam was a French scientific base, and our only hope was to reach these pinpricks. What are the pinpricks? Means small two islands. They were appearing on the vast ocean as pinpricks in the vast ocean. But unless the wind and seas abated means became less intense, less strong. Okay. Alright, so abated, so we could hoist sail, our chances would be slim indeed. So the narrator saw that there were two islands which were appearing like pinpricks on the vast ocean, but he also understood that until and unless the sea abated, that is the huge waves were under control, were less intense, then only they can go and land on the Isle Amsterdam. Alright, they could land on the Isle Amsterdam. Now students, as I told you, Isle Amsterdam is a French observatory. Alright, and it has no habitation. No one lives there, nothing grows. Okay, it's a small island, 55 kilometers only. Now next you see here. The great wave had put, alright, the great wave had put our auxiliary engine. Now what is the auxiliary engine? That the great wave, the huge waves were there, no? So the great wave had put our auxiliary engine. Now this is auxiliary means additional. Alright, they keep as additional engines, no, for additional engine. Alright, so there was the additional engine which they had, and out of action. The wave had destroyed the ship's auxiliary engine. The wave was so huge that the waves had destroyed the auxiliary, that is the engine which was kept as a standby, as a help. That was also destroyed. Now here you see the word meanings. You have to learn these word meanings. Okay, smashed, badly broken. What is the meaning of smashed? Badly broken. Keel means steel structure along the base of the ship. Alright. Pinpricks means a prick caused by a pin. Pinpricks in the vast ocean are the two islands in the vast ocean. They were appearing very tiny, very small, like prick caused by a pin. Abated means something unpleasant to become less intense. Right? Auxiliary engine means small secondary engine used to board ships to operate a windlass. Next you see. On January 4th. Now, which day is there? January 4th. Now, when did they start, students? They started the voyage in July 1976. So they are now in January, on January 4th, after 36 hours of continuous pumping. So MCQ comes, no, that how many hours they had to continuously pump, that is 36 hours of continuous pumping. We reached the last few centimeters of water. Now, last few centimeters of water where? In the ship. The ship was full of water, no, and they kept on pumping the water out and threw the water out in the ocean. So a few centimeters were left. Now we had only to keep pace with the water still coming in. So they had to only keep pace, means they had to only keep adjusting with the to face the water which was coming in the ship. We could not set any sail on the main mast. So the wind was so rough that they could not set sail on the main mast. The main mast is the top part. Alright. Pressure on the rigging. Now what is the meaning of rigging, you see? The pressure on the rigging. Okay. That is the ropes, wires supporting the structure of the ship would simply pull the damaged section of the hull apart. So with the pressure of the rigging, what was happening? Rigging means supporting, tying. They were only pulling the damaged section of the hull apart. They were pulling the damaged, means they were just contracting the whole ship, the damaged section of the hull of the ship apart. What were they doing? They were trying to rig, but it was just getting apart because of the very, very strong winds blowing in the ship. Next, you see. Next, children. Would simply pull the damaged section of the hull apart. So we hoisted the storm jib. So what did they do? They hoisted the storm jib and headed for where I thought the two islands were. That is, one island is, what is it, the name mentioned? Isle Amsterdam. So where were they heading? Where were they moving towards? They were moving towards the two islands. Now, what is a jib? Now, this, children, this is a jib, okay? A triangular, this kind of a triangular staysail set forward of the mast. Mast is there. First, the mast comes, and at the back, the jib, the storm jib is put, so that it can be used during the time of the storms. Mary found some corned beef. Now, who is Mary, students? Who is Mary? She is the wife of the narrator. Found some corned beef. Now, what did they have for food? They had some corned beef and cracker biscuits, all right, for meal. And we ate our first meal in almost 2 days. How did they eat? They ate the first meal in 2 days. So they had their first meal in 2 days. Some corned beef. I hope you understand corned beef. Corn you all eat, no? Corned beef. And they also had some cracker biscuits, which was given by Mary, who is the wife of the narrator. But our respite, that respite means relief, was very short-lived. It was very short. Again, they must be hungry. Sorry, not hungry. Again, the sea must be very ferocious. Again, the roar started. That is, this is on January 3rd. At 4 p.m., black clouds. Oh, 1 minute. This is on 4th January, children. Now, that is, the weather was little calm, but it was very short-lived. It was a very relief, was very short. And at 4 p.m. again on 4th January, what happened? Black clouds began building up behind us. Again, black clouds began building up behind us. Within the hour, the wind was back to 40 knots. All right. Within the hour, the wind was back again to 40 knots means what? The speed of the wind. All right, the speed, the distance measured in the seas. And the seas were getting very high. Higher means the waves were also getting high. All right. And the weather continued to deteriorate throughout the night. Throughout the night of January 4th, the weather continued to deteriorate. Deteriorate means become worse, become bad to worse. And by dawn is what? The sunrise. All right. The sunrise on which day? On January 5th, our situation was again very desperate. Desperate means very disturbing, very unrestful. All right. Next, you see. Now, here you see the word meanings. Rigging is the ropes and wires. All right. The ropes and wires are rigging. So, the ropes and wires supporting the structure of the ship. So, what is rigging? The ropes and wires which are supporting the structure of the ship. Hull is the framework of the vessel. Hull is what? It is the framework of the vessel. Respite means a short period of rest. Respite is the short period of rest. Deteriorate means get worse. All right. Deteriorate is to get worse. Next you see. Heave to means to raise or lift with effort. All right, to lift with effort. That is to pick up with effort. Okay. Now paraffin means colorless flammable oil liquid. What is paraffin? It is a colorless flammable oil liquid. Sextant is an instrument with graduated arc of 60 degrees for taking altitudes and navigation. This is a means of measurement. Okay, so you are learning these. Okay, now next you see caricatures. Caricatures means what? A picture of a person or cartoon. Picture of a person or a cartoon is called a caricature. When I went in to comfort the children, that is, the narrator is continuing, that when he went inside the cabin of the children to comfort them, John asked, "Daddy, are we going to die?" So the John, little boy who is 6 years old, he asked that, "Daddy, are we going to die?" In that turbulent weather, he's so much in tension that he says that, "Are we going to die?" I tried to assure. So what did he do? He tried to assure him that we could make it. But Daddy, he went on. So he added more. He went on and he said that we aren't afraid of dying if we can all be together. You and Mommy, Sue and I. Alright. So the little boy, he also knows that what is there when people are united. So what is it? Unity is, people are united, then what happens? Unity becomes the strength. Alright, unity is strength. Okay, now here you see, I could find no words with which to respond. So the father is so impressed with the child. He says that he could not find any words with which he can answer back the little boy, which he could respond. But I left the children's cabin determined to fight the sea and with everything I had. Now the words of the little boy encouraged him to fight more with strong determination and willpower. So what is this story telling us? The story gives the picture of a family who has a lot of determination, willpower, and of course unity. Isn't it? There is unity also in the family, that the children are also cooperating with the father. So his son replied that they were not afraid to die till they all were together. This filled the narrator with determination to fight back. Alright, this word you must remember, to fight back. To protect the weakened starboard side. Now what is this starboard side you see? Weakened means very weak. Starboard side is the right side. Right side. Now you can see in the picture, now this is the boat. Alright, suppose this is your boat. Alright, and this port side is the left side. When you say the port side, it is the left side of the ship. And when it is this is the left side of the port side, and starboard side is the right side. All right. Okay. So here I decided to heave to with the undamaged port hull facing to the oncoming waves. So what did he do? He went to the starboard side and he started facing the oncoming, that is fresh waves coming from the sea. Using an improvised, now what did he do? He used an improvised sea anchor of heavy nylon. Improvised means immediate. Impromptu we saw, no? Impromptu, that is immediate. Sea anchor of heavy nylon rope and two 22-liter plastic barrels of paraffin he used to close all the leaks to stop, to make the ship a little stronger to survive in the rough weather. That evening, Mary and I sat together and holding hands as the motion of the ship brought more and more water. So his wife and the narrator and his wife, they sat and they could see that the ship was bringing more and more water. Where? In through the broken planks. Planks are the sheets of wood, the timber which is used for the base of the huge blocks of wood. So it was broken, it was all broken, therefore water was gushing from there only. And more water in through the broke. We both felt the end was very near. They were thinking that the death had come, the end was come. All right. But wave walker. What is the wave walker? The ship in which they are traveling. But wave walker rode out the storm, and by the morning of January 6th. Now you see, what is it? By the morning of January 6th they are. Alright. This is very important because they reached the Isle Amsterdam on January 6th. So these are the questions you get for your MCQ also. Next you see. January 6th with the wind easing. Alright. Alright. Now here you see. Wind easing. I tried to get a reading on the sextant, an instrument with which with graduated arc of 60 degrees for taking altitudes and navigation. That is called a instrument is called a sextant. All right. Back in the chart room, I worked on wind speeds. So what did the narrator do? He went to the chart room. Now in the ship there is a chart room also, which helps to there are many kinds of helping accessories are kept, with which they can see the map of the ship, the direction, the compass is kept, everything is kept there. So back in the chart room, I worked on wind speeds, changes of course, drift and current in an effort to calculate our position. Calculate our position means determine their position. What all was kept? Changes of course means how the sea will change its course. How can it be drifted means it can be moved. The current of the ship, the winds, everything, all the information is kept in the chart room. Alright. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in, where were they? They were somewhere in 1,50,000 kilometers of ocean, looking for 65 kilometer wide island. So 1,50,000 direction kilometers of ocean they were, and they were looking for a small island, that is Isle Amsterdam. So on January, now this is the explanation, students. On January 6th, the narrator tried to get reading on the sextant. He worked with wind speeds, drift and current and calculated their position of the ship. They were in 1,50,000 kilometers area of ocean, looking for a 65 kilometer wide island. That is the Isle Amsterdam. Okay, next you see. While I was thinking, now the narrator says that while he was thinking all this, while he was looking in the chart room for every possibility, how they could be saved, Sue moving painfully joined me. So Sue, who is Sue? The daughter, 7-year-old daughter. She came very painfully and joined her father. The left side of her head was now very swollen. That is, the left side of the head was very swollen, means it was very, a full big bump was there. And her blackened eyes narrowed to slits. Slits means little cuts. Alright, small cuts were there. She gave me a card she had made. Now why did Sue come there? She gave her daddy a card. Right, she drew something on the card. On the front, she had drawn caricatures, that is cartoons, of Mary, his wife, and the narrator with the words, "Here are some funny people." So what did she write? She wrote in the picture she showed, and it was caricature, it was funny picture. And she had written on that card that here are some very funny people. All right. Very funny people. Did they make you laugh? I laughed a lot as well. So what did she say? That did they make you laugh? And then Susan says that she laughed a lot on this. Inside was a message. Oh, how I love you both. So what was written inside the card? A beautiful card made by the little child. Inside the card it was made that I love you a lot, both of you. That is, both means what? The father and the mother. So this card is to say thank you and let's hope for the best. So the card why was the card given to him by the Susan? She says that she wanted to say thank you and let's hope for the best. So these words were encouraging words for the father, for the narrator. Somehow we had to make it. So what does the narrator say? That somehow we had to make it means somehow he was more determined to be successful in saving the family. Now I hope you children, you know there are 6 persons in the voyage. 4 family members and the 2 crewmen. 6 of them were there. I checked and rechecked. Okay. I checked and rechecked my calculations. All the calculations, the compass, the area, the water, everything they saw. I checked and rechecked my calculations. We had lost our main compass. Alright, they had lost the compass, you know. Students, you all know the compass is to see the direction. So he lost the main compass and I was using a spare. Spare means what? What is the meaning of spare? Extra. Alright, it was an extra compass which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. I made an allowance for this and another estimate of the influence of the westerly winds. I made an allowance means he took an help from the compass which was not a very corrected magnetic variation, but he also depended on the winds. That is, you all must have studied in geography. He was depending on the westerly currents and he could judge. Now we all know that how meteorological department they tell us when a cyclone will come, when the sun will be there, when the rains will be there, when the monsoon will be starting. All these are often there, no? So how these are all found out? So with the westerly currents, the narrator could understand that what was the position of the Indian Ocean, how the waves were there, which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. Which flows means the westerly winds, currents flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. The narrator rechecked his calculation. So what did the narrator? Now this is the explanation, students. The narrator rechecked his calculation. They lost their main compass and were using the spare one which was not corrected for magnetic variations. On the sea, you know, there are many magnetic variations, all right. He estimated the influence of the westerly currents which flow through the Indian Ocean. Okay. Now next you see. About 2 p.m. Now this chapter is very long now, students. Please listen carefully because you will be understanding it properly. About 2 p.m. I went on deck and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. So he saw in the chart room what possibilities could be made. So at 2 p.m. on when is which date? Which date? It is January 6th. Okay, 6th, January 6th. So he went to the deck, all right, and asked Larry. Larry is the crewman, to steer a course of, that is to move the ship at 185 degrees, because he studied the westerly winds, no, westerly currents, and he said that the ship has to be moved 185 degrees. If we were lucky I told him with conviction, that is, conviction means with assurance, I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. So he saw in the chart room the maps and everything. So there he said that if they were lucky, then by 5 p.m. on January 6th, they would be seeing the island. Which island? Isle Amsterdam. Okay. And then with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed on my bunk, and amazingly dozed off. He was very tired. Then he went on his bunk. Now what is this bunk? Now this bunk is bed. Okay. He went to his bed and he dozed off, means slept off. When he woke up, it was 6 p.m. in the evening. And what day was it? He was expecting that by 5 p.m. they would be reaching the Isle Amsterdam. But when the narrator woke up, it was 6 p.m. and it was growing dark. I knew we must have missed the island. So he was expecting to reach at 5 p.m. So the narrator thought that he would be missing the island. And with the sail we had left, we could not hope to beat back into the westerly winds. So with the sail we had left the place, they were not expecting to beat back in the westerly winds. No. So what happened? Now I hope you all are following. They thought that the narrator thought that he must have crossed the Isle Amsterdam, and westerly winds were so strong. From the west the winds come. He could not beat back means take back the ship to the Isle Amsterdam, because he was thinking that they have crossed the Isle Amsterdam, they have gone further than Isle Amsterdam. At that moment, what happened? A tousled head appeared by my bunk. Tousle means a head which all uncombed hair. The hair which is uncombed, the hair which is not brushed, untidy hair. Who was he? He was John, that is Jonathan. Can I have a hug? Now what does a little boy say to him? That, can I have a hug? Jonathan asked. Sue was right behind him, and the daughter was also behind him, behind the little boy. So the meaning is, see, tousled head means disarranged hair of the narrator's son, that is Jonathan. Bunk is a bed. Dozed off means went off to sleep. Okay. Next is, why I am getting a hug now? Now the narrator is surprised. He says that, why am I getting a hug? Why do they want me to hug them? The narrator asked. Because, now the children are telling, because you are the best daddy in the whole world. So what does the little boy says? That you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain also, because he was taking the ship in the right direction. Who is the captain? Who is the captain? The captain of the ship. That is, he means that the captain is the father. He was the main narrator, is the main navigator here, no? So he is taking the ship in the right direction as the captain of the ship. Not today, John, I am afraid. So the narrator, the 37-year-old businessman, was very much in tension. So he said that not today. He did not want to hug him that day. I am afraid that he was very afraid. He was not liking it. Why, you must be, said Sue in matter-of-fact voice. Now Sue said, why, you must hug him. You can't do that. You found the island. So she declares that they had seen it, that you found the island. I hope you have understood before this that the narrator had thought that they had passed the Isle Amsterdam and they had gone ahead of it. And it was not possible for him to beat back the westerly winds, currents, and come back with the ship. But at 6 p.m. the children comes and announces that they are almost reaching the island, that is the Isle Amsterdam. Okay, next you see. What, I shouted, that he was so surprised. He He says, what are you telling? It's out there in front of us, they chorused. So what did they say? It's out there in front of, they chorused. Chorused means together they spoke. They said together. Who's they? That is Sue and John. That is this Jonathan and Susan. As big as a battleship, I rushed on deck. So what did the narrator do? Just like a battleship, he shot out. He went on the deck. He rushed there and gazed with relief, with a lot of satisfaction at the stark outline. That is, what did he see? He saw the outline of the island, Isle Amsterdam. The stark outline, that is the real outline of the Isle Amsterdam. It is a very small island, all right, in the southern Indian Ocean. That is just, and it's a France. It belongs to France, and it is a French observatory base also. It was only a bleak piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation. So what was it? It was only a bleak piece of volcanic. Now this is what? This Isle Amsterdam is a volcanic rock, and it is formed into an island. There is no habitation. No one lives there. With a little vegetation, nothing can grow there. So what has France kept it as? As an observatory base. The most beautiful island in the world. Why the most beautiful island? Because they were expecting to touch the land. They were not wanting to go ahead, but they needed some kind of anchoring. Now this is the Isle Amsterdam. In the vast ocean, there is a small island. That is the Isle Amsterdam. Now word meanings you see. Bleak means an area of land lacking vegetation. Nothing grows, no cultivation. Stark means sharply defined. Anchored means moor a ship at the sea bottom. Or tie. Moor a ship means to tie a ship at the ship bottom. Okay, next you see. Ashore, offshore is situated at the sea some distance from the shore. Alright. Ashore is on the shore of the land. Optimistic means hopeful and confidence. To be positive. Okay. That is called optimistic. We anchored offshore for the night, and the next morning all 28 inhabitants of the island. So how many inhabitants were there? There were 28 inhabitants on the island, cheered as they helped us ashore. So 28 persons were there, the French base. And what did they? They moved the ship at some distance from the shore, and the next morning 28 inhabitants of the Amsterdam island helped them to move on the shore of the land. There were 28 people there. With land under my feet again. Now this is the reflection of the narrator, that with land under the feet, you know, it's very difficult to be on the sea. The gravitational force is very different from our place, from the land in which we live. When you go into the sea, no, the gravitation force is very intense. So it will not be able to stand also. So the narrator says, with land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of whom? Of Larry. That who all helped them? The two crewmen. That is Larry and Herbie helped them. Larry, Herbie. Cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress. Direst means extremely serious or urgent. Alright. And of Mary, who stayed at the wheel. And what Mary was, who stayed at the wheel, means who was controlling the steering, who was controlling the wheel. For all those crucial hours, most of all, I thought of the 7-year-old girl, that is Susan, who did not want us to worry about her head injury. And of a 6-year-old boy. Now these are explanations. That is, which subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between skin and skull. And of a 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die, because he had said that, no, that we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. Oh, now it's finishes, children. Now this is the Unacademy's voice, that is, let's all of you, let's crack it. Means crack the exam. All of you do very well. All right. Now students, I hope you have understood the whole chapter. Now those who have not attended yesterday's YouTube, please see that you see the yesterday's to get a link of the chapter. Yesterday I taught the first part and today the second part. All right. Okay. All of you have understood? Very good. Okay, children, then. The chapter is the second chapter in your Hornbill book. All right. Okay, bye-bye, children. And see, there is my Telegram ID. You can join the Telegram ID for all the notifications.